Spread lines on a Tuesday, the games that you need to know. Joe and Donnie, we got you covered, and starts in San Antonio tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, the Trailblazers and the San Antonio Spurs. Game number 2, heavy lines here, Joe. Overnight, opened up as 11.5-point favorite, still sits as an 11.5-point favorite for those San Antonio Spurs, and a total, Joe, of 220.5. Give me a spread line, little Trailblazers Spurs action tonight.
Well, we're starting to see that theme, Donnie. A lot of game 1 lines pretty much in line with what we're seeing in game 2. We saw it last night, except 2 out of 3 who lost game 1 end up covering and winning outright. Listen, they lost by 13, Portland, Donnie, and they didn't play well at all, and they still had a chance to stay within the closing number of 12.5 in that spot. So I think with a little better effort, they shoot the ball a little bit better. I still think this number might be a little too much here. Portland can play some defense. I would only look at taking the points here tonight.
I don't want to watch this next game. I really don't, Joe. It's a 7 o'clock start. It's the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Boston Celtics. Line opened up after game number 1 at 13.5. Today, we're seeing 14s. And now, Joe, 14.5s in the marketplace. 2 touchdown favorite for the Boston Celtics and a total of 216.5. No Embiid yet on deck. No hope for my Sixers. But, Joe, that doesn't mean they have to win the game. Can they cover the spread? What's the spread line tonight for the Sixers and Celtics?
When you start getting these kinds of spreads, Donnie, you got to ask yourself, if they're not covering early, are they really covering late? So if you think this, and listen, I always think that teams that get embarrassed, and they got embarrassed, those Sixers, you know, the best effort you're going to get is usually to start the game early on. I think they'll be focused. I would take the points in the first half, but I don't think they ultimately end up winning here, and it could get ugly in the second half. But I think you're going to get maximum effort early with these big spread games from these teams.
Do we get Kevin Durant back tonight out west in Los Angeles? The Rockets take on the Lakers, game number 2. Lakers won game number 1. This line, Joe, opened up at 4.5. Most outlets still sitting at 4.5, and a really low total in this one, Joe. 206.5. Rockets, Lakers out on the West Coast. Give me a spread line for this one.
I don't care if he plays or he doesn't play. They are not shooting as terrible as they did last game. It's not 66 shots to 93. Guess who took 93 shots in the game and couldn't score 100 points? Yes, that was the Houston Rockets. That will not happen again. Houston team total, Donnie. It is artificially low. Buy low on it tonight here and take the over.
Tuesday mornings, a lot to talk about here on the SportsGrid Network at the early line. Rise and grind, people. It's Donnie right side. It's Joe Ranier, and here is Kevin Walsh. He's been up for hours skewering over this NBA card. And by the way, Kevin, saw you. You know, sometimes just align with the right side. I loved Atlanta yesterday. You loved Atlanta yesterday. Outright victory for them Hawks. Love to see it.
Yeah, it was nice to see. I will say it didn't – the rhythm of that game, though, wasn't exactly what I was anticipating here, where I thought Atlanta would have needed to jump on the Knicks and kind of control the game. And it was the complete opposite, right? They were down double digits heading into that fourth quarter, but the Hawks just kept battling, and that Knicks offense completely fell apart in the fourth there. 15 points is what they scored against Atlanta. Lost that game 107-106, obviously.
I couldn't believe it. And I thought they would have made a few more threes, too, but they did not. They weren't great from the perimeter, and they did a lot of their damage in the fourth quarter inside the paint and just dominating the Knicks. I could not believe they had 9 points with about 2.5 minutes to go, and I'm saying, where is the experience? Where is the Jalen Brunson? Now, all of a sudden, do we have a fight on our hands here in this series, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we do. I think we were always supposed to, right, Joe? I don't think this was supposed to be a series that ended. And is there a helicopter in someone's backyard? It sounds like going on in my ear. I don't know if you guys are hearing that as well.
Nice.
It's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm standing on top of Madison Square Garden. It's great. I love it. It was always supposed to be propellers down. It was supposed to be a really competitive series, and I do not view this Knicks core as a group who rely on Madison Square Garden to advance in series. I feel obviously you want to win your home games, but they've been good on the road. They've been susceptible at home. And that is exactly what we saw here against Atlanta. I don't think it's a panic for the Knicks. It's one of the reasons I liked Atlanta. To me, if Atlanta spotted the Knicks a 2-0 series lead, this thing would have been done probably within 5 games. So impressive by Atlanta to, again, find themselves down double digits, but in real double digits, right? Like not like 10. Like it was a real deficit, and they just battled the entire way. Another tough beat for people who played the over, though, in this, where really close to the number, but just does not get there by a couple of points.
Yeah, because 15 points in the fourth quarter by the Knicks, but the Hawks get the victory there, tie up that series 1-1. Now, here's some terminology, Kevin, that you'll like here. And if we look at, the WWE, WrestleMania fans really upset about this. So how about this game last night, Joe? You got the powder move by Anthony Edwards here, brings the cheap heat late in the game, and the Jokic brothers might have to step in. Love to see the Timberwolves on the road. Give me a series here with the Nuggets, and it looks like some anger to build up. Love it.
Yeah, I think obviously I love the references.
Yeah.
For Denver, Jokic was uncomfortable on the offensive side of the basketball for one of the first times I can remember down the closing stretch. It is not, one single play is not going to be why they lost, right? But you think about all the times during LeBron's career, late in a shot or late in a game, right? Late in the shot clock, he passes instead of shoots, and people are like, no, you have to take the shot. You have to take the shot. But people like myself be like, you made the right play. Jokic had a moment last night where he actually made the wrong play. Nikola Jokic is one of the best floaters in basketball. Austin Rivers was talking about this on the broadcast, but he had missed a couple. He wasn't able to get as clean of looks off of Rudy Gobert. He overthought a pretty wide open floater to drop it off to Christian Brown in a tight area. It wasn't a clean pass. Anthony Edwards almost stole that basketball. Braun did get fouled. It's up to Braun to make those free throws, but if you're Denver, would have preferred Nikola Jokic to let that shot go. That's a higher percentage shot from Jokic throughout his career. And it's not to say that, they lost the game because Jokic went for 24, 15, and 8 and was a +1 in his 40 minutes, but I thought Jokic was legitimately uncomfortable during stretches of that game, and we do not usually see that from Nikola Jokic.
They lost the game because, once again, the problem with this version of the Nuggets is they're not good defensively. It's their Achilles heel this year. You can't give up at home. When is the last time you can remember, Kev, the Denver Nuggets and the Joker giving up a 19-point lead at home in Denver in the second half? I mean, that's the problem with them here. I don't think you're going to have that problem tonight with Portland and San Antonio, because we got a guy who's now the defensive player of the year easily. But I don't know, 11.5. I mean, they only lost by 13, Portland, and they didn't play well at all, Kev. So I don't know. Is this just a little too rich here again?
I think it's tough because I think you have these two monster numbers, right, on this slate tonight. And I think most bettors will like one of the two dogs, and one of them will probably cover, and one of them will probably lose by, 70, it'll feel like. So I haven't kind of figured out exactly where I'll land on that yet. Just quickly to the Wemby Defensive Player of the Year thing. The fact that he ended up being the youngest Defensive Player of the Year when he finished second narrowly in his rookie year and would have won it going away if he didn't get injured in his second year, and still yet, let's say, he just had to wait, extra seasons, still the youngest. And the one thing that I wonder about Victor Wembanyama, just a bit of thought exercise for everybody, will there ever be a season in which he wins league MVP and doesn't also win the Defensive Player of the Year award? I wonder if that's just like, another 4, 5, 6 coming his way.
No, not allowed to do that. Just like in the end, hey, the MVP of the league's the quarterback. Yeah, but he's not the best player on offense. Let's be real. It's Christian McCaffrey. So we're going to be splitting those awards for the next decade. But also the NBA. Round number 1, Kevin, not really bringing the juice all that much, but I did like to see the upsets last night. We had a couple last night. Sixers getting 14.5. Spurs laying 11.5. You get the Rockets, Lakers tonight, which should be a good win if KD comes back. Then I look tomorrow, Kevin, a couple early spreads. 9 with the Pistons, 17.5 with the Thunder. Ooh, man, it's like the haves and the have-nots right now.
Yeah, it's round one. If people want, we could do that, phony baloney NHL bracket that nobody understands that eliminates good teams, but I don't think anybody actually wants that.
That's Kevin Walsh, Game Time Decisions, celebrating his honeymoon with us on the grid. The Houston Rockets tonight taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers won game number 1. Rockets looking to get back in game number 2. The zigzag theory in full effect. Kevin Durant expected to be back, and their favorite, talking about the Rockets, at -4.5. But here's the question, Joe. Only 24% of the public here currently laying down their money on the Houston Rockets, and that line hasn't moved lower at this point. Love to see it. The handicap is simple, Joe. Nobody wants to take the Houston Rockets. Your boy DRS, he's telling you, take the Houston Rockets tonight. 2-0 setup. PME is next. What a morning on the SportsGrid Network, and it continues to roll along. Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line for a Tuesday morning. Action-packed topics here. Great ways for you to invest your money and also look at some playoff action tonight in hockey as well as the NBA. Also some Major League Baseball. But, Joe, we're not going to leave out what's going to take place in roughly 2 days. That's the NFL Draft. We got contracts, Joe, to take a look at on PME.
Yes, we do. We got playoffs. We got Major League Baseball. We've got the draft. We got a lot going on here this week, Donnie, and the predictive markets are perfectly set up for this.
No doubt about it, Joe. So let's get started here. Game number 2, Portland and San Antonio, 8 p.m. start tonight. Heavy favorite for the San Antonio Spurs, Joe. I'm looking at Kalshi right now, an 85% chance to win this game. So if you're like, you know what, I want to invest $100 on the Spurs, the payment only back $117. If you think Portland can get it going down there in San Antonio, win this game outright, look at this, Joe. A $100 investment pays back $625. Heavily favored tonight, the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and listen, there's actually 2 dogs that got a little bit a little cheaper here overnight, and this is one of them there with Portland. San Antonio opened about 12 and a half, down to 11 and a half right now here. So listen, the market obviously believes San Antonio is going to win this game, but again, this was a team that we saw nothing but San Antonio money come in late in game 1. It pushed it all the way up to 12 and a half, and they ended up winning by 13. But Portland played one of its worst games that it's played in a while, and I think that matters because this is a team that a lot of people expected, Donnie, to give San Antonio a run for their money. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the league. They never played against Wemby. That was a version of San Antonio. He didn't play in the 3 games during the regular season. I think they bounce back. All they got to do is shoot a little bit better, and they'll stay within this number, I think, rather easily.
And also, we talk about so many times, Joe, you can bet rebounds here in the predictive markets. You can bet point scoring at this point. You want to go for 35 plus, you can get that plus money here. But how about this, Joe? Events tonight, which includes, will they mention the term wingspan tonight, which every time Wemby plays, I feel like you have to notice that. Hey, Defensive Player of the Year, look at that wingspan. It's currently trading at 28% here, Joe, as a chance. But how about this? The contract is actually 64 cents. So a $100 investment pays back $157 if the word wingspan is announced during the telecast with Victor Wembanyama. Let's move it over to Boston. Joe, you know me, I'm a Sixers fan. Let's make this quick and painless as possible here. It's roughly a 2-touchdown favorite, but if you take a look at Boston to win this game outright, Joe, in the marketplace, a $100 investment pays back $12 on the Boston Celtics. The Sixers to spring the upset only listed at an 11% chance. The Sixers were wiped off the basketball court in game number 1 without Joel Embiid. And guess what? Joel Embiid's not back for game number 2 either. Boston Tea Party or Philadelphia comes to storm the fort, Joe.
Well, I mentioned, right, we've seen 2 dogs get cheaper here over the last 24 hours, and this is the other one here because Boston opened up a 14 and a half point favorite, Donnie, and now we're looking at 13 and a halves here in some spots. So now the question is really, do we believe that Philadelphia is going to come out swinging here? And I think that's the best way to approach this because obviously there's a significant talent gap between Boston and Philadelphia right now. But again, this is still a ridiculous number, and teams in the NBA at this point, getting boat raced here by 30 points back-to-back games, Likely not going to happen here. I think if you're looking at Philly, you're looking at them early, Donnie, first half. And by the way, if you think Boston is just that much better, then bet Boston in the first half to boat race them and then kind of take their foot off in the second half.
It's what they did on Sunday. Boston right away in the first quarter, big lead at the half, cruised into the third quarter and smoked the Sixers. But if you are looking for a Sixers angle, Joe, right, you look at Tyrese Maxey and say, if he has a bad game, they're going to get blown out. But also, he can have a very good game and they can still get blown out. The reason I bring this up, Tyrese Maxey, 25-plus points or more tonight, $100 pays back $170 here, which, again, the contract is at 59 cents. But I just have that feeling like he's going to shoot 20-plus times tonight. They could still get blown out, but I do think he gets 25-plus points, even if they're close or getting blown away. Just some way to bet the Sixers, as opposed to, yeah, I think the Sixers can play within the number, and then it's 30-14 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Like, yeah, why did I bet that here? Houston and the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. I like Houston in this game tonight. They are the favorites, Joe, currently trading on the Kalshi marketplace at 63% as a chance. And the contract, if they do win it outright, is listed at 65 cents. $100 investment will pay back $154. We had Kevin Walsh earlier here on the early line. The question is, it looks like Durant's going to go, but as we know in the NBA, that mid-afternoon news cycle that goes downgraded from questionable to doubtful, or doubtful to out, or doubtful to probable. Make sure you're watching that. But as it stands right now, Houston, Joe, is the favorite.
Yeah, so the market is basically telling us, Donnie, that Houston is still the better team, even on the road, even after losing game one.
Yeah.
But it's also refusing to move this number until Durant, what's going on with him. Is he in or he is out, right? I mean, that's basically what we're trying to figure out. I do think there's a little bit of a bump here in what the anticipated total is, right? Because we've seen this open up at 205, 205 and a half. We're seeing 207, 207 and a half. So that means they're expecting a little more scoring. And I can tell you right now, that is likely, whether Durant plays or not, that is still likely coming from Houston, who couldn't score 100 points on 93 shot attempts in that game. I agree. I think whether Durant plays or he doesn't play, I think totals, especially team totals, are the way to look here, specifically Houston here tonight.
No Luka, as we know, in the lineup for the Los Angeles Lakers. Also no Austin Reeves, which means a lot of shots there for the old man LeBron James, playing right now basically, Joe, at even money. The contract is 50 cents. LeBron James has scored 25 plus or more points tonight. $100 investment pays back an even $200.